Hello and welcome everyone to number 2 of my online battles for Rome, or rather Total War Rome 2. I always get that wrong. I'm fighting as Macedon once again. This time I have one more unit of Christian archers than I did before in my number 1 online battle. Fighting against Luke today. And he has, well, let's see, looks like 6 units, I think, like a Praetorian Guards, 3 units of auxiliary, 2 gladiators, scorpions, and some cavalry. We'll deal with them properly in a minute, but I'll just quickly go over the troops I'm using. Fighting on a snowy map, which you may not find the Macedonians on normally, but I've got 6 units of foot companions, 5 units of mercenary Christian archers, and 3 units of companion cavalry, and they're holding up on my left flank. We're on this snowy map. Want to see the snow on the unit texture. So he's got 3 units of Syrian auxiliary Syrian archers. He's got 2 Roman. They're not scorpions. They're polybolos. He's got 2 units of gladiator spearmen, which will be interesting. They've got some really cool animations. See if we can find some of them later on. 2 units of gladiator spearmen. Obviously, 2 of those are polybolos. And as I say, he's got, I think it's 6 units of Praetorian Guard, and he's got 2 units of Praetorian cavalry as well. So he's brought a strong elite force here, and of course he's got his general's bodyguard there. Now he's deployed down from this hill. I deployed up here thinking that he would mirror my deployment over here somewhere, but no, he's chosen the flats, which does mean that I'm going to have to come to him, considering he's got that artillery pieces, because he can, you know, hit me from afar. So obviously I've got my cavalry up on this ridge. I decided to run them forward to push up around here, and with the aim of flanking down this kind of side corridor here, and then take out his artillery, because once I take out that, I can skirmish him with my superior missile troops, Cretan archers, however you want to say them. Feel free to give me pronunciation lessons. Pronunciation? I can't even speak English. Dang it! But feel free to point that out. Snow resting on the shields there. It's pretty cool. And marching forward with my archers behind all my troops. And again, I'm relying on here, relying on my opponent not knowing how to deal with foot companions. Although the Praetorian Guard, they are basically the best infantry I believe that Rome can field. Very heavy melee infantry, so if anyone can break through pikes head on, it would be these guys. And you'd want to swarm. Auxiliary Syrian archers, I don't know how good they are, but I assume they're probably on the same sort of rank and page as my archers. Now, here, he's left his polybolos deployed where they initially were. He's not brought them around. I would have brought them around behind my line, or kept them out in front to tempt the enemy in, but closer to my main army. He's actually got more cavalry than I realised, I think. No, I thought they were cavalry up here. They're not. He's only got 2 units of cavalry. These are his gladiator spearmen. So he's left his gladiator spearmen to defend his polybolos, both of them, and he's bringing cavalry over, obviously seeing my companion cavalry coming down on the flanks. My companion cavalry is still fresh, even though I am running them everywhere. I do have a habit of doing that. And my aim now, as you can see, is to send one of my companion cavalry over to the right, in front of the polybolos, to take them out, basically, and the other 2 are to engage with his units of Praetorian cavalry. Now I'm hoping that his gladiator spearmen won't engage. He's moving forward with one already. He's not covering the rest of his polybolos with the other, which means I have a gap if I'm quick. My guys are a little bit fatigued. They're down to yellow. They're still active, and we've just managed to skip round the edge of his spearmen. I say that, he's caught one of my units, but it's not stopping the rest of my cavalry. No, it is. That's really annoying. He stopped one of my cavalry units there. And they are engaging. But as you can see, I now give another move order to focus on attacking the far polybolos. Meanwhile, he's charged into my cavalry, which I formed into diamond formations. The first one's gone in and is holding up the Praetorian cavalry, and I'm now charging in the flank with the other one to the remaining Praetorian cavalry in the back. And hopefully we can outdo them in melee. Meanwhile, my other units of companion cavalry have finished off one polybolos, and I just got the other one to take out. So I'm now moving off to the left so I can flank round, and even move round to help my cavalry out. We're down to 68 and 180 on the other. Rome, pretty much the same. Obviously, in close combat melee, the Praetorian cavalry are going to have the upper hand against my companion cavalry, and my companion cavalry are for the charge and the shock damage that does. Meanwhile, I'm pushing forward with my forces. I'm deploying kind of to the left of his main army. I'm not worried about that yet. It's way too far back to even influence the outcome of this skirmish. So my companion cavalry absolutely shattered here. They got caught up a little bit by the spearmen, the gladiator spearmen once again. Just seeing if these gladiators do any cool moves. No, they're just making him rear up, collapse and fall down. So I'm bringing these companion cavalry, as tired as they are, to charge into the Roman cavalry, because I need another charge bonus to help out my companion cavalry, which are starting to face some issues in here. Not chosen the best attack angle for these companion cavalry to come in on. One of my units does start wavering, but that charge is enough to tip the numbers in my favour. But I am taking heavy losses on this companion cavalry unit, which is why I brought one unit of foot companions marching steadily as they go, hopefully to hit the flanks of these Praetorian cavalry. As you can see, anything they touch basically dies. I'm trying to pull out with my cavalry now, because these foot companions will just annihilate the cavalry here as they just walk through. Pull back with my cavalry, lost quite a few of them there. Wasn't the best to get them all tangled up in that Praetorian cavalry, but it's worked. It's kept the cavalry out of it, and again, I've still got a unit of companion cavalry left, and these guys are reforming here. This unit may well reform. I'm not sure if they're shattered completely. They're routing, they're not shattered yet. So I still have cavalry superiority, which will come into play later. Meanwhile, the gladiator spearmen are trying to advance up this slope towards my foot companions in phalanx, but they're being decimated by my mercenary creation archers. Utterly annihilated there. The remaining gladiator spearmen, I'm telling all my archers now to engage with, and getting my companion cavalry to pull back, getting them to walk away. Foot companions to reform in phalanx, and these guys are just going to walk straight in there. That first guy, the standard bearer, annihilated. And if they do get through the ranks, they start facing a few of my foot companions, which launch out with their swords. That guy did meet a grisly end. Spearmen trying to get in there nice and close. Not much armor, obviously, on the gladiators, but a lot of damage. Oh, that guy's really smashing with his shield in there. Fighting back. But they are being bested by my pikes. The front pikes might be engaged, but the rear ones are able to fight over the shoulders and what have you, and we've broken both units of gladiator spearmen there. Meanwhile, one unit of my companion cavalry that has come back, I've charged it into the remaining polybolos, just so that I can advance unhindered against the rest of the Roman force. So the rest of my companion cavalry, I'm trying to rest them up now because they've fought long and hard and they're tired because I run them everywhere. Mainly I run them everywhere because I want to get them into situations quickly. I don't want the cavalry fights. Ideally I want to get cavalry out of the way as soon as I can and early on. Because I don't want long protracted cavalry fights, because if I can take cavalry out early, then I don't have to worry about them outflanking me too easily unless it's with infantry, which I generally can sort of deal with more capably, especially if my cavalry has survived. So meanwhile, I'm choosing to pull my cavalry all over towards this forest, this woodland over on the far left, and just taking my time, ready to then reform. Meanwhile, Luke with his forces down here is moving his general around a little bit, and as you can see, I'm now pulling the entirety of my army to face face the Romans. I wonder if I can use a cinematic camera. I can, it just chooses a random unit. That's kind of cool. We'll leave it on this guy as we watch them run down the hill. Gotta love that cinematic cam. They're formed up. My pike's behind. Oh yeah, I just have to sort of click on the unit I want and we can go into cinematic mode, even though it doesn't register a click, which is kind of cool. That's a good feature to know. So as you can see, the bodies of all the cavalry here, along with those gladiators. Those poor nude, well, nearly nude men. Frostbat's gonna get you. He does not look happy. Oh, can't even get on the right one. Very grubby. Be interesting to see if we get a. I'm sure we will do eventually, but obviously CI focusing on patches right now. But awesome to see a blood pack for Rome 2. That would be nice. So I'm forming up here. Luke isn't coming toward me, which is fair. I do have the large numbers, so that is a tad intimidating. So I'm moving forward with my archers, which should signal the end because I can out-skirmish him by far. And he's moving forward with his auxiliary Syrian archers. I don't know whether that's to get into formation before I do. I've now activated my reload, my faster reload, my quick reload button, my ability. And he's now moving them into my range, so he doesn't get the first shots off. I do. I'm still using flaming arrows, as I did in my other gameplay. And I could probably should use normal arrows. They're a bit more effective, but I don't know. I think it's probably because you can see them a bit more vibrantly, which makes it look cooler. Plus, if you set guys on fire. Oh, right in the face. It's like I got one in the eye and he's still like standing. One in the chest I can see. This guy's got one in his arse, on his side. That guy there has got. He's got one. Is that one right in the neck? Or is that his chest strap? Might be his chest strap. But anyway, as I start to whittle down his auxiliary archers, he's splitting up his infantry, which, at first glance, I was like, ah, he knows about dealing with pikemen. He's done this before. It looks as if he wants to flank around because I don't have to break my lines, and he could punch forward with his superior Praetorian Guard in the middle. He's brought his general up to try and rally his troops. Meanwhile, I've got 2 of my units of companion cavalry, only about 50 or so in total, on my left flank. My final unit's back here, which I could actually bring forward now, but I've probably forgotten about. I'm getting all my archers to continue with their reloading spree. Dealing with his archers, we've already made one rout. Hoping they won't come back. But focusing on the other one now. Oh, headshot. Shoulder. This guy's finally firing off some shots, some volleys. Meanwhile, he's pushing forward with his Praetorian Guard. Sending them towards my cavalry, it would seem, but no, he's holding up on his right flank. But he's now committed his left flank of Praetorian Guard towards my archers. I don't know whether that's to scare them back, but I would have gone wider and tried to flank and force my troops to break in the middle, which would have made it easier for advancing Praetorian Guard. So I can now just fall back with my archers behind all my forces and my general, and his Praetorian Guard are going to try and find a gap in my phalanxes. He's pushing up in the centre as well. Left his troops on the right flank, or rather on the left, not doing too much. My men forming up in their pikes. The archers are getting through. Pikes all down. And the first few down straight away, trying to get through the phalanx there. My pikemen pushing them back, but as they slowly advance, the numbers keep coming. They start approaching my men, which breaks the phalanx down. Oh, right in the neck. And while they have taken losses, they are starting to do damage to my foot companions. Not much, they are starting. But it's all a little bit too late. And they break. The other unit of foot companions, he does try and flank me at the last minute, so I start hitting them with mercenary archers. And I bring my general shield bearer unit over as well. Because he's actually used this opportunity, is what I would have done, to break apart my phalanx lines. So he's tried to get in the gap to flank them. Meanwhile, I've charged him with my shield bearers, my general's unit, against his Praetorian Guard. And I'm advancing with this unit of foot companions against the remaining unit of Praetorian Guard over here. Meanwhile, his other units of Praetorian Guard have gone across my line, attacked these units over here. His general's bodyguard has tried to hit my 2 units of companion cavalry, and he will soon meet a swift end there. His archers have all come back, and they're now all firing on my lines. I'm breaking this unit of Praetorian Guard over on the left with my foot companions. They've just smashed straight through. My shield bearers have now formed up in formation, as have the Praetorian Guard. They've held quite a strong formation. Speaking too quickly. Bringing in the foot companions as well, trying to break the Praetorian Guard along with my general shield bearers, which we've managed to do, and that signals the end of the battle. And there you go, that is the end there, with the remainder of the Praetorian Guard fleeing. Everyone shattered across the army, the death of their general pushing out a strong moral decrease, breaking the morale across his army. And once again, my foot companions have triumphed. So, I hope you enjoyed this online battle. I'll be bringing you guys more online battles next weekend. If I can, I'll be bringing you some during the week as well if I get more time. I'm starting to get into online battles a little bit more, but as I said in my previous online battle video, feel free to suggest a faction I play as, and feel free to suggest builds as well that I try out. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do remember to comment, subscribe, and I will see you all again soon. Ciao for now.